Hey everyone, so today we're going to talk about planting roses in containers. Even though we have a lot of our roses in the garden here in the ground, we still have some in containers. And some of the questions we do get is how to plant a rose in a container the proper way. So we've done this in the past many times. I'm going to show you the best methods that we use so that our roses actually succeed and do really well in the garden. Now what I have here is a bare root rose. This is Gabriel Oak, a David Austin rose. I'm going to show you guys how to plant this the best and easy way. All right, so before we get started, let's talk about the best methods to use to get your rose growing the proper way. So first thing you want to do is you want to get a good quality rose. Now this is a bare root rose. This is a David Austin rose. Some of the best roses that are out there. So that's the first thing you want to do. We actually soak this bare root rose. It's recommended for 24 to 36 hours. So it's been in water for about 24 hours now. And I think it's time to get it planted. You can see the little fibrous roots already starting to show. So we're going to get this planted today. The second thing you want is a good size pot. Now you can grow these roses in a nursery pot or maybe a 5-gallon pot, but it's recommended to use a 20-inch container with about a 15-inch width. That way you get plenty of room for these roses to grow and they absorb and hold plenty of water as well. Now the reason I say a big enough container is because if you live in a hot climate like we do, you want this rose to be able to maintain and retain as much water as possible. Those of you in a colder climate, you can get away with watering every other day, but in a hot climate like this, you're gonna wanna probably water once a day once those summer months come and it starts getting really hot, depending on the container you have as well. Like let's say you have a terracotta pot, which is very porous, that will start to dry up a little bit faster as opposed to a plastic container like this, where it's gonna retain a lot more moisture. Okay, so you can also go, I'm trying to move some stuff out of the way, you can also go with self-watering containers. And the reason I bring that up is because one thing that people tend to forget, and I know it's one of the easiest things to remember, is when you have a pot, you wanna make sure you have drainage hose. We don't want to stick in a rose in a pot that doesn't have any drainage hose and then you get root rot with those roses. So you can also go with self-watering containers. And the reason I bring that up is because one of the most simplest things to do that people tend to forget when you're a new gardener especially is to have some actual drainage hose. Now some of these pots that you buy don't have them, so you have to actually drill them yourself. We have a pot here that has drainage hose. Now a self-watering pot, it's gonna be great for somebody who is starting to learn to garden or really doesn't want to worry too much about the watering and whether it's going to drain properly or not. You can get a self-watering container that's going to go ahead and water that rose, and all you got to do is refill it as it starts to dry out. Okay, so you can see I have quite a bit of products around me right here, and I'm going to talk about them as I go along planting this rose. So I did mention the mulch. Good quality mulch. One thing we like to do in containers is we like to use a good quality chunky mulch, very organic. Please don't use any of that dyed stuff. The dye is just gonna soak into that rose and into your soil, and then when it drains out, it's gonna soak into your lawn as well. So we wanna use about a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch at the bottom here. What this is gonna do, this is gonna help your drainage as well. Now, if you're using a self-watering pot, you may not have to use mulch. I probably don't suggest using mulch, just potting soil. But for a pot with drainage hose, we do this for 2 different reasons. The first being that you want it to drain properly. You don't want anything to clog up the bottom, and now you have a pot sitting with a bunch of water exposing your rose to root rot. The second is that not only does it drain, but these chunky pieces of mulch are gonna retain some water as well. So it's gonna keep your rose moist even if it's a very hot, dry day. Okay, when it comes to potting soil, I can't stress this enough. Use a good quality potting soil. We use the Spomo Organics potting mix because not only does it drain really well, but it retains great moisture. And there's a couple of added benefits to using this kind of potting soil. It has mycorrhizae, same thing we're gonna use and talk about later with some other product, but it's gonna help that rose perform well. It's gonna help it do great with whatever product it has in there. And I'll talk about it once I add that specific product in here. But a good quality potting soil is going to be your best friend when it comes to watering in hot climates especially, and even in cold climates. It's going to maintain some of that moisture when you absolutely need it. So I chose the hard way to get my soil in here rather than lifting the bag and putting it in here, but there's a reason for that, because I don't want to overfill it. Now when you get your bare root, the roots kind of have this triangle shape. This one not so much. But you want to go ahead and start to settle it in there as you get your soil in there, because you want your rose to be planted at the crown. You can go a little bit lower. I would suggest just going at the crown whenever you're doing in containers, because they're going to do absolutely well like that. But you want to go ahead and start to measure as you start putting soil in there where you want your rose at and how high you want that soil level before you start filling it in all the way, because there's one more ingredient we want to put in there, and that ingredient is Biotone. We use the Espoma Biotone starter. Now what Biotone does, it has a product called mycorrhizae. Now mycorrhizae, what it does, it activates with the water and the humidity to start to help those roots bind to the nutrients that it needs. It helps it take in more water and more fertilizer and more nutrients from the soil to get your rows off to a great start. It's gonna prevent stress. It's gonna prevent your rows from just drying out right away. You're gonna get the best start with this product. We've used it every single time we've planted annuals, perennials, roses. I mean, it's gonna do great. Okay, so I'm gonna put my rows in here now. I got it at the level that I needed to. Now I'm gonna slowly add some more soil so I don't move the rows around too much. We can always adjust. Okay, so got my rows in there. One thing I learned from Angie was do this. You wanna bang that pot to get any of the air pockets out and get that soil as deep as it has to go. You don't want to compact it, but you want enough soil to hold that rows in place, so when you start to water, it's not going to lift up, it's not going to shift over to the left, right, front, or back. It's going to sit in there the way you want it. Now, in containers, I leave about 3 to 4 inches from the lip of the container, and there's a reason for that, because there's one more thing I like to add, and that's going to be compost. We don't want to give the rows an initial fertilizing right now because it's just starting. We want to go ahead and use that Biotone to get the roots going. But you want compost, you want a good layer on top, maybe about 1 inch of compost. And I use land and sea compost. You want to put a good inch of compost on top here, because that's going to break down and start to feed the rows as it starts to grow as well. Later we'll add some fertilizer, and we'll talk about that here in a few minutes. Okay, so one of the last things you want to do when planting your rows in a container is add a good layer of mulch. And there's more benefits to doing that on top here. Number one being is you want to maintain some moisture if you live in a hot climate. You want the rows to stay nice and wet after you water it. Now, you don't want it wet all the time, but you want it to be able to maintain some moisture after you water, especially on a hot day. You don't want it to dry out. Now, when it comes to watering as well, the mulch is going to be good for protecting your rows from any backsplash. If you've ever watered any new plantings in the ground or in a new pot, you're gonna see that you're gonna get all that potting soil jumping up and getting all over your plants. You don't want that on newly grown roses, especially when they have new leaves. You don't want to start creating some black spots, some bacteria, anything like that. So that's gonna be one of the added benefits of using the mulch on top. If you're like us and you don't want to be weeding containers, mulch is going to prevent some of those weeds from flying in there and start to, you know, germinate themselves in pots. You're still going to get some, but not as many as if you don't have mulch in here as well. Now, you can also go with the cedar mulch on top if you're looking to keep some pesky insects away. Some of those insects don't like cedar. We've done that in the past, and that works pretty good. But that's another option to do. But just regular mulch is going to do fine. Again, no dyed mulches, nothing crazy that's going to, you know, seep into your soil and keep your rows from performing the way that it actually does. So we're done planting this rose, and you might be thinking, what about fertilizer? Now, we're not going to do any fertilizer right now. It's a newly grown rose. It still hasn't put on hardly any growth, but I do want to talk about fertilizer. What we use here is we use Rose Tone. Rose Tone is a slow release fertilizer that we use almost once a month. Now, it's suggested to do it once a season, early spring, midsummer, and then in fall. But we do about once a month, especially in containers, because when you water in containers, it's going to seep out a lot of that nutrient from the fertilizer. So just keep in mind how much you actually add when you do a slow release. Again, talking about the containers, that leads me to another question about the fertilization. Now, roses do benefit from a little bit of different types of fertilizers. We like to use Bloom for our annuals. The reason I say a 16-inch pot is because you can also underplant your roses with some annuals. We like to do that every once in a while and throw some annuals in a container that's big enough while the rose is still growing. You want to pick a rose that's going to have a nice form as well. This one's going to have a nice form. This is Gabriel Oak. It's almost a pinkish red rose that absolutely looks beautiful, and it has a round shrub form that's going to look absolutely great. But in the meantime, we may add some annuals in here. So we're going to use some Bloom. This is going to be organic as well, so it's not going to hurt your rose, but it's going to help those annuals grow grow, and it will help the rose perform a little bit well as well. So how many times do we fertilize with bloom? If we have annuals in here, it's recommended to do it once every 2 weeks, but we actually do once a week. Again, it's organic. It's not going to hurt your rose. Unlike synthetic fertilizers, if you add too much, you can get some root burn and stuff like that. But this is organic. We do once a week. You can do once every 2 weeks. We do once a week with this. All right, and the most important part when it comes to finishing container roses is to make sure you water them well. That's a big question we get all the time. And not trying to be mean, but we get a lot of questions as my roses didn't perform well, this didn't do well. When you do a new rose in the ground or in a container, one of the most important things you can do is water well. And when I say water well, you're gonna be doing this once a day, at least for a week until it establishes itself, because that's the most important part of these bare roots' growing time, is that first week when they're in the soil. They're gonna start to send out those fibrous roots, and the minute they feel, I don't have any water, it's gonna start to show. Okay, so once your rose is established, and I would say about a week to 2 weeks after it's already been established, you start seeing some growth, because sometimes you'll see some very quick growth from your roses, and that's gonna tell you, I like it, it's doing great, and it's gonna just do what it needs to do. Now, when it comes to being established, when it comes to watering, you're gonna wanna water at least once every other day. You can come out and check your soil to see how dry it is. You can maybe go 2 days, but if you live in a climate like us and you get some triple-digit days in the summer, you're gonna find yourself doing this once a day. And the reason I say that is because it gets very, very hot for roses in containers. They will dry out quick, depending on the container you had. Like I said, you just want to keep an eye on that and make sure your rose doesn't dry. We do have some roses that do well in shade. This is a full sun rose. But for park shade roses, you want to give it the least amount is 4 hours of sunlight. For a rose that takes full sun, you want to give it 6 hours of sunlight, especially when they're in this condition right here. When you first plant them in containers or even in the ground, you want to make sure they're getting ample amount of sun to start putting on that growth and those roots to start to perform. Don't forget to do that. That's one of the most important things, is watering and great sunlight. They work both in combination. All right, guys. So hope I answered most of the questions that everybody's been asking about planting roses in containers. I hope I covered as much as I could and you took what you needed from this video to have some successful rose growing in your garden as well. That's gonna do it for this video. If you have any questions, leave the comments down below. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.